All right, back at you again with another album review, and this time it's for Ella Mai's "Do You Still Love Me?" Though, pretty much the brief, quick synopsis of the album is down below. So, here we go. So Ella Mai, this is like I was saying before, my reaction. Her third studio album, follow up to "Heart on My Sleeve," but the more critically acclaimed R&B style album, and that was more delving more so into her love life, her introspectiveness about love, and having children and everything. This is the follow up antithesis. This is the follow up to that project, and pretty much talking about personal growth, postpartum period, and she's pretty much delving so much into like her intro about her life after the fact of her about her having children at the time, and her dealing with motherhood, also dealing with like the anti-socialness of social media and everything. But let's just start with the intro. I really like this. There goes my heart, and I like the lines in here where she says, "Never thought someone like you could pull that out of me. But there goes my heart again. I ain't even no room in my place. But fitting your hope in. There was no one more to see, but you brought the ocean that you drown out of your own. Love can get me there, but there goes my heart again." And she pretty much is going so much into detail about you know um, dealing with like dealing with that same guy, or dealing with a guy who pretty much is like blowing up her phone, hitting up her phone, and pretty much expecting to get that same interest like she thought she would have gotten that with at first. I like in this, but then in the second verse she goes in and says, "Came down when you show me something real that's over. Got nothing to fear. No broken hearted people here. No more second guessing. I won't fight in the end. You catching my heart, you win." So he pretty much is not fearing over at the time not being like fully paid attention to, not fully loved. She's not feeling nothing kind of that way. She's just like pretty much talking about her own sense of just like self-love, self-preservation, and ensured, and really being really fully endured. And let's go into the song that I really enjoy right here, "Little Things." I like in the lines where she says, "Hey, how's your day going? You can always say what's on your mind. Are you on your way home? I'm warm up to your plate when you arrive. Don't have to, but I love to do. Bartender, I pour a drink and move on to entertain. I'm down to little things." And I also like in the chorus she says, "You let you know just how you make me proud. The good times makes up for the bad ones. I see you trying and I don't know how. You keep me when you're working. Switch when your timing, when your schedules aren't aligning. That's a sign. This is a sign." I like in this line where he says, "Pack your bags, the extra clothes, your toothbrush, your lowest toe." So she's pretty be right here before you waking up. Breakfast on the table. Know you like eggs, and they're all scrambled up, bacon, pancakes, bacon, and OJ on the side. Love notes, wait, no notes for you when you're on the road. Clean your watch and Cuban links. So she's pretty much doing all the little things to really make her loved one really appreciate her. Really, really like it, like in the beginning, like how she's really self-preservation and self-endure. She's really going after this. She really is really feeling this herself with this guy, with her love, with her husband, and she's really trying to make him feel appreciated. And these are the things that she's been going through postpartum with in her hole full of heart right now. So I like that about this record. Oh hey, what's going on? I really do like the refrain also, where it says, more than I can say, and you keep giving me more and more each day. Oh baby, I never thought it'd end up with the man of my dreams. You really him. Don't mind taking time, baby. I'm down to do the little things, but more can I say? This guy goes into pretty much more, like I said, she's really down with trying to do everything for her loved one or significant other, and she's really willing to go down with the ship, really to go down and do the little things that she could possibly can to not only feel appreciated, but really feel appreciative in herself and in her own self mind and herself ensured endurance. All right, I can get to the. Oh my goodness. Going to track 6 called Outside. I really like this record. Um, Pretty much it's just her pretty much uh, outside, pretty much looking at the skies and really looking at everything as far as just being out in the open. Uh, she's pretty much looking at herself as being like more outside, being out in the open, being out preserved, not really dealing with the confinements of just being like, in this case, a stay at home mom, a stay at home mother. Like she's really trying to find her own like path or her own way of emboldening herself. Pretty much, really, this is more of like a feel good, a feel good, a feeling way of just being self-contained and and not feeling like you're self-contained and not feeling like you're self-isolated. That's pretty much what I gathered from that record. I like the production. I thought the production was really nice. Um, like I said, I like the vocals. I like the harmonization of it, and I like also the melodies in here. I thought that was really nice. The singing was also really cool as well. Thought it was really solid. Um, yeah, here we go with that. Another one of my favorite tracks on the album. We got Might Just, also produced by Mustard. I like this one where she says, I had a dream last night. Couldn't see faces, but y'all were naked. She told you take your time when I was calling in front of the counter. She did all the things you like, but that's mine. I took the wind to bed. Now I grow to draw the line, no lies, and our tie, cuz. And I like the chorus where she goes in. I guess you thought you could be out here effing my feelings. How could you make love to her in my bed? What was you thinking? Did you fix your tone? You tell me lies about what she means nothing, but it was too wrong, it was too real. So she pretty much is catching her own she pretty much is catching this guy in the act, you know, having feeling some kind of way, she might just, turn up or get loose and really like lose her mind, go over the edge. That's just kind of like what I gathered from that record, and I really I thought that was nice. Of her really expressing a lot of getting a lot of her feelings and her, perspective in her life, and pretty much getting everything that she wants to get off of her chest. God, that's And let me get to the last song that I really enjoyed, and it's the last track called No Angels with her and Kirk Franklin, and they're both doing. Oh, hey, what's going on? Yeah, I'm good. It's just my computer kind of been not responding, that's all. But I'm good. Yeah, thank you. Asking. So yeah, No Angels. This is the track with her and Kirk Franklin. I like in the verse where she says, I like in the verse where she goes in and says, I ain't looking to fight like that, but you're two on the way, your words attack. Oh, now so you want to turn your back? Or why would you go through that when it's my go-to unpack? You're getting on my nerves. It's the little things. Then I look into your eyes, I'm falling in, and only you can change my mind. And I like the pre-chorus where she said she got me stuck. This could be fatal. We ain't no angels, but we love so good. Turntables. No angel, you let me be grateful. And then Kirk Franklin on the post chorus where he says, "Oh, sounds so good. Let me be grateful one more time." And then in this verse, she goes in and she says, "I never know you. I never put your car seat back, and this is why you leave me in the leave the sink like that. I know you hate when you don't call me back, and you hate me going through that. And I think I'm not gonna react. But we ain't gotta spend time on those silly things. I guess you spend all the late at night. Good morning. Look into my eyes when you fall in, 'cause I've been waiting on my life for this feeling." And then I like where they go in and says, we've been through hell and out. This feels heaven now. Until your time is out, we should be grateful. We've been through hell and out. It feels like heaven now, and until our time is out, we should be grateful. So pretty much the last track, what I've gathered is her pretty much encompassing in the album as just she knew about she knew about her husband's past. She knew about her lover or husband's past. She knew that he'd been seeing other women. She knew that, like, he hadn't been really spending time for her. And throughout the album, she's pretty much going through trying to rekindle that same love, rekindle that same feeling, and rekindle that same feeling relationship. And then pretty much she's done a lot wrong in the past. She's why she comes and says she's not an angel as far as like doing the right things and doing the right things for the right reasons. She did the right things for the wrong reasons, and so that's why she's pretty much omitting a lot of her faults in this No Angel song, in a way where she's trying to catch that same feeling again. She's trying to catch that same feeling, that same love, and that same kindling and friendship. Um, and as I'm going through the last song, it's like it's really encompassing and really putting everything pretty much putting everything all the light into one perspective of this record, and I really like that from her. And so yeah, I thought that was the thing where she's making a letter, like an album that's more of like a letter, or as a feeling, or as just thoughts, how to her loved one. Like, do she really still do he really still love her? Do he really still have feelings for her? Does she really want to catch this same flame, and feeling? That's what I gather from this record, and what I think is she's talking about in referring to this album. Now, and what I gather from this album is pretty much she's just trying to rekindle that same love, that same feeling, and that same essence of just trying to get her 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 husband and that significant other back if she still feels that way about him. And I just think he hasn't been responding to her. He hasn't really been having the same feelings for her. And from songs like There Goes My Heart and My Mind, Little Things, Might Just, all these tracks are really encompassing, and Outside, all these tracks are really encompassing just her trying to be more so back out in the open, back in the limelight, back and going into uh, updated, and not really getting so caught up in one, like, or one or a few, like, relationship or woes. She's really trying to really invoke and invite and inviting herself in that. And I think that she executes it pretty well, pretty significant, pretty well, even better than what she did on Heart on My Sleeve. This more is like a self concept and self preservation of love and postpartum period. Um, dealing with that and actually just getting back in her own and finding her love and finding the passion and just really in relationships and really in dating and also dealing with like I said with her having a child and her pregnancy. She's trying to deal with also with motherhood as well. So I like this album. I think this album executes really, really well. I like the fact that she is really very outspoken. The vocals and melodies really match the tone of the record. I thought it was really solid. I give this album a solid maybe 3 out of 4 stars. I think it was a pretty good album. Better than her last record, Heart on My Sleeve. I don't think this is up there with her debut. I think her debut was pretty nice. It wasn't just this was more fleshed out, more to a concept record. Where I feel like her debut was more or less getting more of the commercial singles out with a balance of dealing with conceptually and also the balance of dealing with singing and also with some really good deep cuts as well. So I don't think this is up there with that, but I do think this is a nice forward and going into the right direction. So yeah, I like this record. So tell me what you guys think about the record and everything. Let me know down in the comment section. I'm out. Peace.